how long did you take to complete your book, your first book?
16 years.
Wait, what?
16 years. It took a long time when I started writing Ghoul Squad. My computer died and I had to go back and rewrite everything, and had to save up money, close to, I think, $5,000 for the editor.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Writing Inspiration with Markee Books. I'm your host, Dan Ricoveri, and here we have our new guest for today. Say hello to Jerry DeCastro. Did I pronounce it correctly, by the way?
Yes, you pronounced it very correctly.
Happy to hear that. So Jerry, how are you? How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be with you on this podcast. I'm truly humbled and honored.
I'm happy to hear that. So, what do you do other than writing, or are you maybe a professional writer?
No, I'm not full-time. I wish I was. My job that I do, I'm a concrete mixer hauler, which means that, like, if you ordered some concrete, I'd be the one to bring it to you.
Okay, that's interesting. What made you change, or did you saw the chance and you just took it?
Yeah, the job I had, I got paid by the delivery, and work's getting slow. So I had an opportunity it's called logistics. And so on that part, it was getting slow. So I had an opportunity to leave to sling some concrete.
Okay. So how long have you been a writer?
Well, man, since 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's 24 years.
Yeah. I started writing Ghoul Squad back in 2000 when I worked for a company called R&R Engineering. And it took me a little bit to finish it.
That's interesting. How did it start? Why did you decide to write a book on that time?
Well, I like horror, and I always tell my wife stories and stuff like that, and then it would become a movie, this and that. So she said, well, you need to put it down in pencil and paper, I said, all right. So I started doing that. I was working for a company called R&R Engineering. I started writing it down, and then I bought me a Brother typewriter. I learned how to type, and from my mother-in-law, she gave me this typing book. I learned how to type in 3 days, where the keys and how you put your fingers and this and that. So I did that, and so then I went from that. I bought me a laptop, and I'm not tech savvy by any means. So all the writing that I did and everything I printed out, my computer, the battery died. And so I didn't know I could take it to somebody a little bit smaller than me that could go in there and pull out the hard drive and take that information from Microsoft Word and put it on a flash drive. I think we had flash drives back then or something. And then I could plug it into my new computer and start from there. So I had to start all over again, start from the very beginning, look at all my writings and that I did in pencil and paper and everything that I printed out on my printer. So now I still do that, but once I finished the storyline, I put it on a USB or a flash drive?
I didn't understand a bit about that, so let me check if I did. So basically, you started writing in paper, then you have to transform everything to digital.
Yes. Yeah, well, I went from pencil and paper, which I still use, and then I went from there to a Brother's typewriter, and then I went from the typewriter to the laptop. I started writing. So when I'm at work, when I say at work, when I was in the shops, which I love the shops, you get breaks. And so during my breaks, I would take my pencil and paper during lunch or, first break or third break, and continue in my mind what I was writing in my storyline. And then I would get 10, 15 pages. I would stop writing, and then I would look at the paper and then put it on my laptop. And then once I put it on my laptop, I'd go back to the paper and pen. And then instead of losing my stuff while I was writing my story, I would print it out on a printer, and I would put it in a little box.
Okay. So what did inspire you to become a writer?
Well, I was tired of being poor. Reader, I still read, not as much as I used to. And, something about, when I first started writing Ghoul Squad, it took me 3 days to write my first paragraph. But once the flow came, I mean, it flow. I don't know, just something about it, something about, thinking of, what's this character going to do, or this one, or what plot, is going to happen and stuff like that. So, but that's what inspired me. My wife as well, she always teased me, the wall is white, she always says that, but my grammar and sentence structures, it's not the best. I mean, I'm not an English literate like Stephen King by any means, but she always teased me because I'd have her read, oh, you need to fix this and that, the wall is white. But I've, like everything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it. But I still send it off to people that's a little bit smarter than me, that book edited it and, help me with the sentence structures and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I can imagine how it went.
Yeah, yes. So, but yeah, I love the writing part. I really do. It's just like I said, it's just, like I said, coming up with your characters and characters' names. Over the weekend, I was in McAlester, Oklahoma, doing a Comic-Con, and I was talking to a young lady, and I asked her, I said, do you do an outline? She says, yes. I can't do an outline, get your characters in order, and this is what's going to happen and this and that. Myself, I'm like Stephen King, he was asked that question. He said, no, I don't do an outline either. It just, whatever character decides to sit down by the campfire, and that's who gets thrown in the storyline.
Wow, that's actually quite risky and impressive.
I like it that way.
No, it's fine. Everyone has its way. When I did that before, everything turned out terribly.
That's what she said. So she does an outline,
It's just to remember, because you see, when you get new ideas, the old ones usually get missed. So
yes.
The outline is to make sure you are not forgetting.
Well, yes, yeah, but but this way, if like I said, when I was working in the still shops and you had those breaks, you can go back to your paper and read what you had wrote previous, like an hour or two later, and it's okay, I wrote this, and then you can continue on with that storyline and during lunch or your last break, and then once you transfer it from the paper onto your laptop, and in that last page or that last sentence, once you get it in there, if you feel like writing, then you say, okay, and you can continue on with your laptop. And then what I always did when we had finished everything and I'm getting ready to write some more, I always print out the last page and stick it in my notebook and then read what I had wrote on the computer. Okay, this is what I want to do, and just keep the flow flowing.
Okay. So, were you inspired by any other author works when you started your career?
Yes, I did. That's another reason I wanted to write, to, I guess, mimic a little bit on their capabilities of writing, not to plagiarism or nothing like that. Just
it always like that. I mean, I like many movies, and I use some of their elements, but
yes,
I'm not exactly doing that.
Yeah, on that note, I was watching, I can never think of the name. I was watching the Scary Movie, and this old boy, he's an actor. His name is Aaron Ackridge or something like that. I can't think of his name. I butchered him in the movie. But anyway, he was chased down or had a head-on collision with the demon, and the demon killed his family except for him, his wife and kid, and made him a paraplegic. But he had the capability to go into the minds of the possessed. So I started thinking, so man, could you imagine, like, you and I are talking, I'm possessed, and you would never know it that I was possessed because I'm just talking normal. Because sometimes, they get that raspy voice and they start talking in Latin and stuff like that. So on that note right there, that's where I come up with Skinned, from watching that movie.
To be honest, I always believed that the possession thing is a lot more subtle than people tends to think, because things like The Exorcist are over exaggerated. I honestly believe that if there's if that's happening in real life, it's not that visual. It's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, I believe that, The Exorcist, does, that there is stuff like that. It does happen, being possessed by a demon and stuff like that. You got several incidents like the Duke Blue Devils. If you look at that, they were saying, I think it was a young lady that was possessed, and finally, after many days or weeks, that the demon had been exorcism out of her or him, I can't remember, and went through the wall. And there's a big black spot, and I think it's still there. Like I said, I can't remember where it was at, but that's how Duke Blue Devils come about with their name.
So, how long did you take to complete your first book?
16 years.
Wait, what? Yeah.
16, yes. Yeah, I
Wow.
started writing in
I thought
2016.
I thought that you have like at least, I know, 20 books like this.
No. It took a long time. Like I said, when I was started writing Ghoul Squad, my computer died, and I had to go back and rewrite everything, and I had to save up money, to find somebody to edit it, and then had to find a publishing. Well, I say a publishing house, but somebody to publish my book. So it took me that long because I had to save up close to, I think, $5,000. For the editor, for the lady to come in, proofread it, and
I get it. Yeah, you probably have to balance many things at the time.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it was a long run, but at least you finish it.
Yes.
Also, you answered my next question already, because I was going to ask you, what did you struggle with the most at the start of your career? And, well, you basically already said it.
Yeah. Yes.
Did you ever get like a writer's block, as people call it?
In a sense, I did. When I was writing Skinned, I was thinking about Corkscrew, that's my demon in Skinned, of his girlfriend. How can I let my readers know what his girlfriend looked like? So I shut down, in a sense. I didn't have a writer's block. I just didn't know where to look to find Corkscrew's girlfriend. And I was watching a movie with Star Trek or something like that, and they was on a planet where it was like what was it? There's a movie called Aliens where they had characters dropped in and they were hunting them and stuff like that. Well, this was sort of like that in the Star Trek movie, and out walked this character, and she's completely white, and she had a lightning bolt coming down the side of her face, and this and that. And then, bam! There was a Corkscrew's girlfriend right there.
How many books do you have today?
I got 2 done. I'm working on my 3rd one. Markee should give me my book cover of that one. It's almost finished. I'm probably like about 10 pages, give or take, to being done.
Are you working on a series or individual books?
At this point, I'm going to do it. This one is a prequel to, this one's called Ghou Town, which is a prequel to Ghoul Squad. And then I'm going to stop off of that one. And I want to try maybe like write a zombie or a werewolf novel next. But to answer the question, Ghoul Squad will have 4 books in that series.
Okay. Huh, interesting. So, do you have like a story about how you named your books? Like, where did it came from?
Okay. Well, the next one, To the Radio, thinking about something, and then on that trilogy of that Ghoul Squad and everything, the last novel will be called Wet Teen 6.
Okay. I didn't understand. So, on your series, do you have like a main message on your books that you want to portray to your readers behind the book for readers to catch on? Do you have something like that?
No. I just write a storyline and the characters, and hopefully that my readers will like it as well as I did.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit what your recent book is about?
Ghou Town. It's about 4 eyes. And what he is, Four Eyes, he was very passive, or that's not the word I want. But anyway, he did not, when he was in Vietnam, he took lives, because he had to feed. And so, but once he comes stateside, he didn't want to do that no more. So he started a town. It's in Nevada, and it runs like, so that's where I got the idea for the placement of the town being way out there. And so that's where Four Eyes decided to set up, and he has his own little community and everything. But so to tie it in, one of my characters, she had a baby, or she was pregnant with Samson. He's another character from Ghoul Squad, and pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so now bringing him over, and so he wants to allow his followers or his people to feed on humans. Well, Four Eyes didn't like that. Four Eyes said, well, we can feed on animals and this and that. So Four Eyes was been thrown into jail for several years. And so, but Shades, one of my favorite characters, he hears about it, but he doesn't know where Four Eyes is at. He just knows that he's somewhere in the United States, in a tiger cage, which is very small. I think it's only like 6x4. He's been there for several years. So he's going out there to find him. And so he finally, come across, some information where Four Eyes is at, and he's going to break him out and so forth of the tiger cage and help reset the balance in his town.
Okay. So, which of your two books you like it the most?
Yeah, I was asked that question over the weekend too. Man, that's a tough one. I don't have a favorite one. I like Ghoul Squad, because it takes place during the height of the Vietnam War. And then I like Skinned because it takes the places of here and now. So they're two different settings. And so so as for a favorite one, at this point I really don't have one. I
Okay.
love them both.
No, that's fair. That's fair. What advice would you give for new authors that are starting up right now, like as a veteran yourself?
Wow, I always tell them, get you a baby book for names. Myself, like I said, I don't do an outline. Some people do an outline. A thesaurus, unbridged dictionary. Let's see what else. Just don't let your family members read it, because they will tell you, oh, it's good, it's good. Well, no, because even though it might be crappy or something, they don't want to hurt your feelings. So maybe try to find a friend or a coworker that reads or something. And definitely,
I agree.
find somebody on Fiverr, Fiverr, and have them, proofread it and edit it for you. And, take the lumps that goes with it, and criticism. If you do sell the book or give your book away to somebody, and and you ask for their opinions and stuff like that, and they say, well, don't get mad.
That's called beta readers.
Yeah, that's how you become a better person, a better writer. You got to take that criticism with a grain of salt. Because I've had one of my people I was going through my text. This was just on Ghoul Squad. He said I liked it. It was a good read, but he says there's just too much detail. Okay, I said thanks. So on Skinned, I try to cut down the detail a little bit, and I try to let my reader to imagine what I'm thinking, for they can give an idea, just enough that of what's going on.
There are
So,
some
okay.
that wants more direct things, but others do like to imagine and having like 12 pages of descriptions. I mean, it worked for Tolkien. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so I think it depends on the people that will read your book. So it's not necessarily good or bad if you want to, cut your descriptions. Of course, I personally believe that descriptions on point that will be simpler, or even a big base, so people can like imagine themselves and complete what you're saying. I mean, I do like that. more, but I do respect people that takes the time to explain every single part.
Yeah, the writer that I was talking to over the weekend, she's like you. I mean, she goes into detail about everything. You know, myself, I like to uh, get to the point, you know, just on the description and continue on. And, you know, like I said, being redundant, you know, hopefully I can describe it just enough for the reader knows what I'm thinking about.
Okay, so changing topic a bit, what's your largest goal or dream as an author? You know, like, do you want like to make 100 books, make a movie, or whatever? It's there's always something like that.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Well, Skin, uh, I got it in a screenplay. So I would like to see Skin into a screenplay because when I was writing it, you know, I liked all the details and the stuff that I did. You know, like when Corkscrew, he was a bum. He coming, but I think he came there to take somebody's life, and so you know, being a bum and had some dry, rotten clothes, and he stepped into the fire, and then all of his clothes caught on fire, and his flesh melted, the human flesh melted to show the true Corkscrew. And the bum was sitting there, you know, he was drinking Jack Daniels, and he's seen it. He got to watch it all. And Corkscrew steps out of the fire and walks up to him and says, "Hey, I'm not here for you today." So that'd be kind of cool to see that on the big screen. You know, seeing the demon that you thought was somebody you knew as a human, but he was actually a demon, I should say. And you know, steps into the fire, gets burned up, and the human flesh just melts off of him, and you get to you get to see him as who he really is.
Right. So, how much like research do you think you do for your book?
Well, with Ghoul Squad, I did a little bit, you know, because I wanted to try to keep it as real as I can. Like like my guys when they first went out on their first mission, you know, I had a whole page of stuff that they was supposed to take with them, you know, like canisters with different colors, you know, for the helicopters and ammo and their weapons and this and that. But with Skinned, I already had an idea on that because I come across on Instagram some couple pages that I follow, and they had some stuff that I thought was pretty neat. Depends on the storyline, you know, as well, how much information I want to dig into and stuff like that.
Right. So, how do you handle the challenge of marketing and sales?
Oh yeah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I used to do stuff on Facebook, you know, I forget what it is. I'm a couple months of, you know, promoting my books and stuff, and I didn't ever get no hits on that. But I go to Comic Cons. I have a very small readers or groupies or however you want to say that, and you know, I'm grateful for them. And like I said, I just go to the Comic Cons and I sell my books, and hopefully that they will always ask me, hey, please go to Amazon. And in the past, you'd have to write down description, you know, you like the book and this and that. But now Amazon's got it where you get stars, which makes it so much easier. You know, it takes a lot of money to advertise. It really does. And so hopefully, I mean, I met a lot of famous actors and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna tip the camera down. This shirt right here, I don't know if you can see the whole thing.
Yeah, I can see it.
I used to make these and through Vistaprint, and I've seen Dean Cain, Superman, Lois and Clark. His name off The Walking Dead. His name. He was the father of two girls on the first couple seasons. He's got a shirt. I got to talk to the executive producer. I gave him a shirt from The Walking Dead. I can't, like I said. So, you know, hopefully, you know, these people would just wear it and the paparazzi see it, you know, and say, oh, look at that. But even Stephen King's got a shirt. I don't think he'll wear it. I hope he got it. I really don't know. But, you know, just hopefully one day that, you know, somebody will come to one of the Comic Cons I'm at or something, or I get lucky or if I get to hopefully go to New York City or out to California to San Diego, and somebody, one of the big actors or something like that, will pick up the book and read, and they like it and say, hey, call me up and say, hey, I want to make this into a movie.
So tell me, do you have another advice for your fellow authors? This one regarding when working with editors, publishers, or designers?
Well, myself like that, I've been asked that question. You want to me, self-publishing is the way to go, because say you get picked up by a traditional publishing house, you don't know when you're going to see your book out there, because you figure they might have 10 or 15 authors ahead of you, and they already got, we'll say, 3 or 4 books. So you're at the back of the line. So you got to wait for they get all their books done, and then they're going to try to squeeze you in there. So you don't know when you're going to get your book in there. It might be 3, 5, 10 years. The self-publishing way, I think, is the way to go. But if you can make your book into a movie, and you get lucky enough to find somebody that will pick up your screenplay, which is truly hard, the same as a writer, you're a small fish in a big pond. So as for the traditional house, always try to get it in writing on your contract that, 3 to 5 years, if your book ain't out on the market, that everything reverts back to you, or you can maybe pick up maybe another traditional publishing house will be able to pick it up, and they might be able to get your book into print a little bit faster than the first publishing house.
So this question, how do you stay inspired? Do you do an activity, or do you read others' work?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Right now, I'm reading 3 different books at the same time. Well, yeah, you got to keep that mind sharp, because like you said in the beginning of our interview, everybody's different in our conversation. Every writer's different. So by reading different works like Stephen King, Anne Rice, or V.C. Andrews, well, she's gone now, or Kuntz, everybody writes different. And so by picking up on their stuff, and then, I could do this, or I could do that. I didn't know I could do this. You definitely need to read other people's works. Stephen King does.
Of course, that's true. And it doesn't need to be books exactly. It can be literally everything. Inspirations is everywhere.
Yeah. I watch any scary stuff. That's how Skin come about. Watching a movie, and then, like I said, I just watching the movie just because of the actor and what the plot was about, and then bam, after I watched it, here comes Skin.
So tell me about your current series. Are you planning to make a new one later, not related to these 4 books you talked about?
Yeah, I'm already thinking about it. Maybe because everybody wants to hear about zombies or werewolves. And I've been thinking about, how the COVID came about, maybe starting, maybe writing a zombie book like that in a sense. I've been throwing that around. I haven't thought about it yet, because I'm trying to finish up Ghou Town real quick, or write a werewolf novel, because my mentor, Dennis McDonald, he seems to do very, very well. They're novelettes. He wrote one about out there where he lives at. He lives out in Enid, Oklahoma, and his zombie books does really well. And he wrote another book called Ebon Moon. I think that's how you pronounce it, and it does really well. So I was thinking, try to maybe write a werewolf book.
But but I understand that that it might be successful, but do you like werewolf? I think that's the first question you have to ask yourself.
Yes, yeah, I mean, if you stick with one monster genre, you're limited to yourself on your writing capability. Test the waters in a sense, and go out, and it's like if you had one movie director with just makes all the Transformers, all these and that, Michael Bay, but he's done other things other than the Transformers.
Yeah, but by the way, I have my own opinions about that Transformer. Honestly, because the last one that came out, one, it was a failure commercially, even though it's a very good movie. But it was because Michael Bay destroyed the reputation of Transformers and no one believed in it.
Right. Yeah. Well, after a while, you got to, stop making them like, you know,
That's because he got, well, I will blame more the publishers
uh-huh.
and the team more than the director because they asked him say 6 movies.
Right. Yeah. Well, when they start throwing them dollar bills at you, what can you do?
Yep, exactly. Well, are you planning to write something else other than horror?
No. No. Horror is my genre. That will
That's
be
fine.
with me.
That's completely fine. I do know another author that said the same thing as you. It's not bad to do to stay in your comfort zone on that way.
Yes.
Honestly, honestly, it would be weirder than to start writing. No, I don't know, romance.
No, I couldn't do romance. No. No.
I get it. Me too.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah. So, do you plan to go to a new event soon?
Well, this month I'm pretty much booked up. Places where I'm going to go to do my book signings here in Oklahoma. So, but my next because I got three more events or three more places where I'm going to. I'll be in Oklahoma. All these places are in Oklahoma. Guthrie, Oklahoma. That's an arts and crafts show. I seem to do well there. Which I'm very surprised. I guess because people ain't expecting to see a writer there. Amongst people that got tumblers or Scentsies or cakes and fudge, and bam, there's a writer. What the heck? And so I got that one, and then I'm going to Ponca City, and then going to Glenpool. And in November, I'll be going to Vision Con. I'm pretty excited about that one. That's a 3-day event, and then that's
Okay.
it for this year.
Are you going to inform about these events on your social media?
Yeah, yeah. I will. I'll put it on Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I don't know how to do that for some reason.
Funny, I actually found your Instagram.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know how to put that information on there. I'm gonna have to have one of my sons or my grandbaby show me because, like I said, I'm not tech savvy by any means.
So Facebook mostly.
Yes, yeah, Facebook mostly. I need to try to get out of that.
That sounds okay. That it's fine. So okay. What platforms can we get your books?
Well, if you go,
Amazon, of course.
I'm sorry.
Amazon, of course, I
Yes,
assume.
yeah, yeah, Amazon. Yeah, that's the only place I sell my books. If you go to, but if you go to my personal website, or excuse me, wrong word, my personal email, I need to get a website. Ghou Town 1, GHOUL 1 at Cox.net. And I do have PayPal. Some people are kind of scared about that, and I will sign and ship their book to them for free.
Okay. Oh, by the way, actually, Markee Books also do websites if you ever want to try.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think I knew
We
that.
do many things, even video editing, and actually, we're trying to develop to become publishers one day.
Wow, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but it's still a green project.
Oh,
It's going to take some time.
right. Well, at least there's two types of people in the world: sayers and doers. The doer's going to say what they're going to do. Like you and I, we say we're going to do this, we're going to do it. And then there's other people that say they're going to do it and they never do. Like, really, why say anything if you ain't going to do it?
Yeah. So, by the way, do you have like support network with other authors you can talk about?
No, I don't do that. Speaking of that, Sunday there's this Well, it's in Tulsa, and there's one in Tellico, which I didn't know that.
Where are you from, by the way?
Oh, Tulsa. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And it's called Night Riders, NIGHT, night, and then Riders, WRITE, right? WRITETER. There we go. Man, I missed my computer. So, and like what you were saying, they get in there and I guess they read a little bit of their storyline and have it critiqued and, by different authors and stuff like that. So no, not me. I guess some people's got to have that need to fill the enclosure of getting patted on the back, say, oh hey, that's a good storyline, or hey, you need to change it to this way or that way. No, not me.
By the way, I'm curious. Do you consider your books like teen horror or adult horror?
Adult, yeah, because I put cuss words in there, and and I talk about people, how they look and stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you for coming to another episode of Granting Inspiration with Markee Books. And thank you so much, Jerry, for being with us and for answering my questions.
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm truly grateful and humbled.
Of course. Happy to see you.
Thank you.
Well, bye.
Bye-bye.